2, 1. 7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everyone. It's Mike in for Jamie. It's National Black Cat Day, and a very happy birthday to Kelly Osbourne, Charlie Lenehan, Gianna DiCenzo, and Casey Moretta. It's all change at number 10. Well, not really, as most of the cabinet looks depressingly familiar. But there's certainly been a change when it comes to the dreaded Halloween fiscal statement. It's now no longer on Halloween. It's not even a fiscal statement, which probably makes sense. And with new Chancellor Jeremy Hunton, old Chancellor turned PM Rishi Sunak in charge, they've decided to take a bit longer to make sure the sums actually add up this time. Are you listening, Kwasi?
Prime Minister and I have decided that it is prudent to make that statement on the 17th of November, when it will be upgraded to a full autumn statement.
With diaries adjusted, Rishi headed for the Commons to face Keir Starmer for his first PMQs. It didn't go terribly well, but then again, Starmer is already on his third Prime Minister.
The only time he ran in a competitive election, he got trounced by the former Prime Minister, who herself got beaten by a lettuce. So why doesn't he put it to the test, let working people have their say and call a general election?
Rishi's response sounded like he'd been thumbing through some of Boris's greatest hits.
Mr. Speaker, he talks about mandates, about votes, about elections. It's a bit rich coming from the person who tried to overturn the biggest democratic vote in our country's history. Our mandate is based on a manifesto that we were elected on to remind him an election that we won and they lost.
The new PM has found himself immediately in hot water after promising integrity and accountability in his acceptance speech, but then reappointing Suella Braverman as Home Secretary just 6 days after she was sacked from the same job. Labour's Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper scheduled an urgent question in the House, given that the Home Secretary, who is responsible for the nation's security, has been reappointed after a security breach.
It is the same old Tory chaos and it is letting the country down. So I have questions for the Home Secretary that the government needs to answer. Everyone knows this was a grubby deal to get a coronation to put party before country, but national security is too important for this.
Suella Braverman was keeping her head down with no more attacks on the woke literati or big tofu. Instead, after repeated questioning from Labour and Sir Keir Starmer, Rishi provided his own defence for the swift rehiring.
The Home Secretary made an error of judgment, but she recognised that, she raised the matter and she accepted her mistake.
As the battle in southern Ukraine continues around the city of Kherson, Ukrainian Defence Minister Alexei Reznikov says the country now controls all bridges over the river Dnipro. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin continued to suggest Ukraine is preparing to use a so-called dirty bomb, specifically in the area around the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has no patience for these rumours and says this misdirection is an established Russian tactic.
Russia now falsely claims Ukraine is preparing to use a radiological dirty bomb. NATO allies reject this transparently false allegation.
And former Commander Sir Richard Barron says the UK needs to begin planning for what happens next after the war is over.
We need to accept that Russia is going to lose this war with Ukraine. And then Russia will likely be very aggrieved, angry, bitter.
The forces of law and order continue to chase down Donald Trump on multiple fronts, with a judge ordering his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, to testify in the ongoing election interference case in the state of Georgia. The Don has also been formally subpoenaed to appear before the January 6th committee, but despite issuing a 14-page letter denouncing the committee, it's still not clear whether he will in fact testify. Now, Alina Haber, his lawyer and newly promoted senior advisor, has suggested he might actually turn up.
He has no issue being deposed, even though the left-wing media would like to pretend that he does. He has no issue being subpoenaed and answering questions about what happened that day, and he shouldn't. What he did was very public.
Still to come on the Smart 7, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and Michaela Cole talks Beyonce.
Right after this. Welcome back.
3,
Wednesday saw another busy night in the Champions League with Spurs, Liverpool and Rangers all in action. Liverpool struggled early on against Ajax but eventually won 3-0. Rangers were beaten 3-0 by Napoli and Spurs thought they'd nicked a last-minute winner against Sporting Lisbon. But Harry Kane's 95th minute goal was ruled out by VAR and the game finished 1-1. So that leaves Spurs still needing at least a point to get out of the group and saw manager Antonio Conte pick up a red card. At least Jurgen Klopp was happy-ish with Liverpool through to the last 16.
We don't have to talk about it all the time, but it's clear that we are through the knockout stages. So I never will take that for granted. So it's a really big one, and really helpful as well for the club, important for everybody, important, and of course it gives to live.
We haven't heard a whole lot from Michaela Cole recently after her Emmy and BAFTA wins for I May Destroy You, but she has been pretty busy. She popped up with Jimmy Fallon to spill the beans on being on the cover of Vogue and getting flowers from Beyoncé after her Emmy win. They haven't actually spoken, but Michaela did send a plant in return. She's also starring in the new Black Panther movie Wakanda Forever, but has warned us not to expect full-on action.
I have to keep minimising expectations for the people that love me.
Yes.
Minimise expectations about how much I'm in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm there, but I'm not panthering.
Now, I know it's still October, but it feels like Christmas has really snuck in ahead of Halloween this year. I'm half expecting to hear Mariah Carey and Greg's Any Day Now. And Marvel are getting in on the festive action. They've just dropped a trailer for a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. All the gang are back together. It's directed by James Gunn, and it also signals the end of Marvel's Phase 4. That's a lot to pack into a Christmas special. It's due to pop down Disney Plus's chimney on November 25th.
I just saw on the calendar that right now on Earth it's almost Christmas time.
We don't have time for trivialities like Christmas.
But Peter's so sad about Gamora being gone. Maybe if we go to Earth for a really wonderful Christmas gift, it would make him happy.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.